Hi, I'm Adelin. For most of my life, I've been known as the practical one, the reasonable one, the one who could be counted on to keep a level head when everyone else was losing theirs. That all changed 3 weeks ago when I got a call from Thomas Klein, owner of Klein's Fine Jewelry on Oakwood Avenue. Mrs. Reynolds, this is Thomas Klein from Klein's Fine Jewelry. Yes, this is Adeline. How can I help you? Well, I'm calling about a rather delicate matter. A young woman came in yesterday selling a rather distinctive diamond wedding band. I recognized it immediately as the one I custom designed for your husband David 12 years ago. My throat tightened. That's impossible. David's ring is in my jewelry box upstairs. Mrs. Reynolds, I still have the original design specifications in my records. It's quite unique with those 3 blue diamonds inset among the white ones. I'm absolutely certain. Who? Who brought it in? There was a hesitation on the line. A young woman who identified herself as Melissa Reynolds. She said she was selling it to help fund her wedding. My daughter. My own flesh and blood. Mrs. Reynolds? Are you still there? Yes. Yes. Please don't sell that ring. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I hung up and ran upstairs to my bedroom. With shaking hands, I opened the velvet-lined jewelry box where I kept David's wedding band after he passed away from cancer 2 years ago. The small compartment was empty. My phone rang. It was Sarah, my best friend since college. Hey, Addie, still on for lunch? Sarah, I can't believe it. My voice broke. Melissa stole David's wedding ring and tried to sell it. What? Are you serious? How do you know? The jeweler just called me. He recognized it. She's selling it to pay for her wedding to Jake. That entitled little... I'm coming over. Don't move. 30 minutes later, Sarah sat across from me at my kitchen table, her face a mixture of shock and anger. So the jeweler still has the ring? She asked. Yes. He refused to buy it when he recognized it. Said he wanted to call me first. Thank goodness for honest business people, Sarah said, squeezing my hand. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. I can't even process this. That ring was all I had left of him, Sarah. She knew what it meant to me. Have you called her? Not yet. I wanted to calm down first. As if on cue, my phone lit up with Melissa's name. It's her, I whispered. Answer it, Sarah urged. But put it on speaker. I took a deep breath and answered. Hello? Mom? Have you been talking to Mr. Klein at the jewelry store? Melissa's voice was tight, defensive. Yes, I have. That was completely unprofessional of him. He had no right to call you. He had every right. That ring belongs to me, Melissa. It was your father's wedding band. Dad's been gone for 2 years, Mom. It was just sitting in your jewelry box collecting dust. Jake and I need the money for our venue deposit, and we're family. I was going to tell you after... After what? After you sold the last physical connection I had to your father? The ring he wore for 28 years of marriage? God, Mom, you're being so dramatic. It's just a ring. We're trying to start our lives together, and all you can think about is the past. Sarah's eyes widened at Melissa's callousness. I'll be by tomorrow to pick it up, I said, my voice suddenly cold and calm. We'll talk then. But Mom, I hung up. Addie, Sarah said quietly, I've never seen that look on your face before. What look? The look that says Melissa has no idea what she's just done. The next morning, I drove to Klein's Fine Jewelry. Thomas Klein, a dignified man in his 60s with kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses, greeted me at the door. Mrs. Reynolds, I'm so sorry about this situation. Please, call me Adeline, and thank you for calling me instead of completing the transaction. Of course. Your husband was a valued customer and friend. When I saw his ring, I knew something wasn't right. He led me to his office and carefully placed a small velvet box on the desk. I opened it, and there it was, David's ring with its distinctive pattern of blue and white diamonds. My hands trembled as I picked it up. May I ask how much my daughter was asking for it? Thomas looked uncomfortable. She wanted $15,000. I informed her it was worth considerably more. closer to 25,000 with today's diamond prices. I nodded slowly. Did she mention what she needed the money for specifically? She said something about a deposit for the Westlake Gardens venue. Apparently, there was a cancellation and they needed to secure it immediately. I see. Thank you, Thomas, for everything. As I left the store, my phone rang. It was my brother Robert, an attorney. Addie, Sarah called me. What's this about Melissa stealing Dad's ring? It's true. I just picked it up from the jeweler. That's theft, Addie, plain and simple. I know. Do you want me to talk to her? Not yet. I need to understand why she thought this was acceptable. I paused. Can you meet me for coffee? I need legal advice. An hour later, Robert and I sat in a quiet corner of Magnolia Cafe. So, what exactly do you want to do here? He asked, stirring his Americano. I want consequences, Robert. Real ones. Are we talking criminal charges? Because I'm talking about her understanding that actions have consequences. What are my options? Robert leaned forward. Well, technically, she committed theft. The ring belongs to you. Its value makes it grand theft in this state. And if I don't want to press charges? Then we're looking at civil remedies. You could sue for the attempted conversion of property. My phone buzzed with a text from Jake, Melissa's fiancé. Adeline, can we talk? This is all a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? She took it from my bedroom, Robert. Just then, the cafe door opened, and in walked Melissa's maid of honor, Courtney, who froze when she saw me. Adeline, I didn't expect to see you here. Courtney, join us, please. My tone left no room for refusal. She reluctantly sat down. Look, I know you're upset. Did you know? I interrupted. About the ring? Courtney shifted uncomfortably. Melissa said you wouldn't mind. She said you had even mentioned giving it to her someday anyway. That's a lie. I would never part with David's ring. Well, she also said the venue was going to go to another couple if they didn't put down the deposit by yesterday, and that you weren't answering your phone when she tried to ask. Robert raised an eyebrow. When exactly did she try to call you about this, Addie? Never, not once. Courtney looked genuinely surprised. But she showed us her call log with multiple attempts to reach you last weekend. Courtney, I said quietly, check your facts. I was with Sarah all last weekend at her lake house. Cell reception is terrible there, but I didn't miss any calls from Melissa because there weren't any. Courtney's face fell. Oh God, I wouldn't have helped her if I'd known. Helped her how? I drove her to your house when she said she'd forgotten her key. I waited in the car while she ran in to grab something from her old room. She was only inside for maybe 5 minutes. Robert and I exchanged glances. Thank you for being honest, Courtney, I said. You've been very helpful. I texted Jake back. I'll meet with both of you. My house. 7 p.m. tonight. At precisely 7 p.m., my doorbell rang. Melissa stood there with Jake, her face a mixture of defiance and false confidence. Come in, I said coldly. They followed me to the living room where Sarah and Robert were already waiting. Melissa's eyes widened. What is this, an intervention? She scoffed. Sit down, I said. Both of you. Jake cleared his throat. Mrs. Reynolds, Adeline, I want to apologize for this misunderstanding. If we'd known how important the ring was— Stop right there, I interrupted. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was theft. Mom, that's ridiculous. I'm your daughter. Family can't steal from family, Melissa protested. Is that what you told yourself when you came into my bedroom and took the ring from my jewelry box? I was going to tell you after we secured the venue. No, you weren't, I said quietly. I spoke with Courtney today. The color drained from Melissa's face. She told me everything. How you lied about calling me multiple times. How you forgot your key and had her drive you over here. How you were only inside for 5 minutes, just long enough to go to my bedroom and take something that didn't belong to you. Melissa, Jake said slowly, turning to her. You told me your mom had given you permission to sell the ring. I knew she would eventually. She was just being sentimental. Sentimental? My voice rose. That ring was on your father's hand when you were born, when he taught you to ride a bike, when he walked at your graduation. It was on his hand when he took his last breath. Mom, please, Melissa's voice cracked. We really need the venue money. I'm sorry I didn't ask, but I was desperate. I'll make it up to you, I promise. Like you promised to call me about borrowing the ring first? Like you promised Courtney I had already said yes? Like you promised Jake I had given permission? Jake stood up, his face ashen. Mrs. Reynolds, I had no idea, I swear. I believe you, Jake, I said. But that doesn't change what happened. So what now? Melissa demanded, tears streaming down her face. Are you going to call off my wedding over one stupid mistake? This wasn't a mistake. This was a choice. A series of choices, actually. You chose to lie to your fiancé. You chose to lie to your friends. You chose to sneak into my home and take something irreplaceable. I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry. What more do you want from me? I want you to understand that actions have consequences, I said, echoing my earlier words to Robert. What does that mean? Her voice wavered. It means I've filed a police report for theft. You what? Melissa shrieked, jumping to her feet. Your own daughter? You can't be serious. I've never been more serious in my life. You're ruining everything. My wedding, my life, my future. No, Melissa, you did that all by yourself. She lunged forward, grabbing my arm hard enough to leave marks. You vindictive bitch! You've always been jealous that Dad loved me more. Jake quickly pulled her away. Melissa, stop. This isn't helping. Did you just assault your mother? Robert asked quietly, already taking photos of the red marks on my arm. Melissa's eyes widened with sudden realization. I didn't mean to. I think you should leave now, I said calmly. Both of you. Mom, please, Melissa sobbed, her anger dissolving into panic. I'll do anything. Please don't do this. You should have thought of that before you stole from me. 3 weeks later, I sat in the district attorney's office with Robert beside me. Assistant DA Janet Weaver shuffled through the papers on her desk. Mrs. Reynolds, based on the evidence, the jeweler's statement, the marks on your arm from the confrontation, and your daughter's subsequent texts admitting to taking the ring, we have a solid case for both theft and assault. I understand, I said quietly. However, given that this is a family matter, we're willing to consider a plea arrangement if that's amenable to you. What kind of arrangement? Community service, probation, and mandatory counseling. She would have a criminal record, but no jail time if she complies with all conditions. I nodded slowly. That seems reasonable. As we left the building, Sarah was waiting for us. How did it go? She asked. The DA is offering a plea deal. Melissa will have to face consequences, but nothing that will ruin her life completely. And how are you feeling about all this? Honestly, relieved. Standing up for myself was empowering. My phone buzzed with a text from Jake. Can we talk? Alone? We met at a park bench near the courthouse an hour later. Jake looked tired, his usual confident demeanor subdued. I called off the wedding, he said without preamble. I'm sorry to hear that, I said, surprised to find I meant it. Don't be. I couldn't marry someone who would do what she did, not just the theft, but the lies. So many lies. He shook his head. I wanted to thank you, actually. Thank me? For pressing charges against your fiancé? For showing me who she really is before I made the biggest mistake of my life? He paused. Melissa keeps saying you'll forgive her eventually. That blood is thicker than water and all that. I looked out across the park where children were playing, oblivious to the complexities of adult relationships and betrayals. There are some bridges that can't be rebuilt once they're burned, Jake. This is one of them. I understand. He stood to leave. For what it's worth, I think you're doing the right thing. Later that evening, Robert, Sarah, and I sat on my back porch, watching the sunset. The DA called, Robert said. Melissa accepted the plea deal. Sarah squeezed my hand. Are you okay? I will be, I replied. It's strange. I always taught Melissa that character is revealed in the choices we make. I just never expected to learn so much about her character this way. What about the wedding venue deposit? Robert asked. Jake's parents got their money back. Apparently, they had actually paid for it, not Melissa. Just one more lie, Sarah sighed. Yes. I twisted David's ring, now back on a chain around my neck. But the truth has a way of coming out eventually. So what now? Robert asked. Now I move forward, without the weight of enabling bad behavior, without the guilt of always putting her feelings above my own. And Melissa? She has her own path to walk now, one with consequences and hopefully eventual growth. Sarah raised her glass. To consequences. To consequences, Robert and I echoed. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the yard, much like the shadow that had fallen across my relationship with my daughter. But unlike the night that inevitably follows sunset, I wasn't afraid of what came next. Have you ever had to choose between what's easy and what's right? Between family loyalty and self-respect? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about family dynamics and difficult choices.